Okay, so I was thinking about on my run that actually not run. It was still a power walk. I'm not fooling anyone. Anywho, I was thinking about sharing my story, my addiction story, because I feel like whenever you go to AA meetings, NA meetings, CA meetings, ABCDA meetings, whatever meetings, they don't really give you a long time to really share, unless, of course, they put you as a speaker. Then I think they give you like 20 minutes, but whatever. I haven't shared my story in a while. So, as I might have mentioned in my other videos, I'm a recovering addict as well. On October 27th of this year, I will have 4 years of clean sobriety. Not California sober, but clean friggin' sobriety. Like nothing. I started using probably, I would say 17, and it was when I was living in Colorado. I think I really started using just because school wasn't really like my thing. Like I never really felt like book smart or anything. I never felt like accepted. I mean, I was bullied since I was elementary or whatever. It was always like my feminine voice, like, you know, like, or they would call me the F word. I mean, like, the F word in, like, friggin', I'm 40, and so the F word when I was in elementary was, like, in the 90s, early 90s-ish, maybe. I'm not good with math. And so, yeah, like, I didn't really have, like, a lot of friends. I guess I just don't really attract that much positivity, I guess, in school. I mean, I wasn't an athlete. I wasn't the brain. I wasn't, I didn't have all the cool clothes. None of that. I realized in middle school that my father had an addiction problem. I didn't really know what drug it was. I just know that it was an addiction, I'm guessing. You know, he would be out of the house like periodically for a few days sometimes, and when he came back, my mom and dad would just argue. So it just really wasn't like, you know, and I didn't grow up in like some Brady Bunch household where we woke up every day and said, love your mom, love your dad, love your sister, love your brother, off to school I go type of environment. I mean, we loved each other, but it wasn't like what you see on TV. The first time I got sexually assaulted was when I was 12. I was, you know, it sounds like, when I say it out loud, it sounds like it's like some Lifetime movie or something or whatever, but no, it was reality. I was on my way to school one morning, and the lunch money that my parents gave me, you know, because back in the day you had to pay like cash money to like get lunch for that day. So instead of buying lunch that day, I stopped by a convenience store gas station and used my lunch money to buy candy so that I can give it to like people in class or whatever, you know, so that they wouldn't bully me because, you know, ooh, I have candy, you know, or whatever. And anyways, I was sexually assaulted by the convenience store clerk and locked in the store. I reported that one in a way. I mean, I escaped to the next gas station, called my house, and a sibling answered, and I don't really remember much. I guess I had to go into the interrogation room of the police by myself, write a statement. It was very lengthy. The end result was the guy ended up having to go, he got deported, I think. He got deported back to Pakistan. After that, I pretty much, I guess, just continued on with, like, just going to school. I mean, like, whatever. I felt like more of an outsider because I was essentially sexualized at a young age. Anyway, scan forward. So when I started using when I was 17, I started partying. You know, I went to a school that was like meant for people that got kicked out of their old schools, you know, because they were being like bad. But I just wanted to go there because I thought that while the regular schools, I am always getting bullied, so I don't know, like, let me try a school full of, like, quote-unquote dropouts. Anyways, in the beginning, you know, I'm a quiet person, so, I don't know. Somehow I met one person, and then that one person led me to a party, and then we started partying a lot, and, I pretty much blew off school because, you know, I wasn't really book smart, like I said, so it wasn't like I was like, yay, let me go to school. Like, so we started ditching class, drinking, all that. Yeah, I just didn't really care about school anymore. I mean, all I wanted to do was just party because I felt like, you know, using and drinking, like, it made me feel, like, different or whatever, like no care. And then sorry, it's like so long ago. Anyways, when I was 18, I was sexually assaulted again. It was horrible. I don't know if YouTube would allow me to say all the details, but there was violence, a threat on my life, yeah, it was, you know, horrible. I still remember the person's name. Out of all the times I've been sexually assaulted, he's the only person I remember his name. It was horrible. So, I remember I did tell my parents about it, and my father, told me not to tell anybody because I was 18 and the person who assaulted me sexually and violently was 16, and of course, you know, I guess that's how the law works or whatever. It doesn't really matter. If the younger person was the one that did something to you, it's because you're of 18 legal age to be an adult, like, then it would have just, they would have just put it on me or something, and then I would have went to jail or something. So really, I didn't really feel supported, and I just thought, oh, wow, the law is pretty messed up in that sense, to make the victim actually the criminal. So I, you know, how could I get over it? Instead of talking about it with a counselor or trying that avenue, I was like, let me just keep on drinking. Because at least if I'm drinking and things happen to me, hopefully I won't remember them the next day. So, yeah, I just kept partying, and I just partied, and you know, people that were at parties were like, oh my god, wow, like, Ashlyn, you could drink so much, but I wasn't Ashlyn back then, duh, I'm transgender, but I'm not going to say my dead name on here, because it's nobody's business, because that's why it's called a dead name. So, anyways, they're like, yeah, you drink so much, oh my god, or whatever, like, wow, like, you can do, like, beer stands, beer keg, whatever, blah, 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 you can choke back the vodka, da, 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 like, wow, ooh, like, it was like, you know, and I was, like, being, for once, like, rooted for drinking, being able to drink a lot. And dance. Like, I danced all the time, but I learned how to booty shake or whatever from watching my sister and whatever was on the TV. So, you know, then I was just like, you know, the gay guy that, like, you know, knew how to drink and was, like, dancing, whatever. So, you know, I just kept on using. And then you know, I've been to treatment my whole life, 18 different times. And honestly, I really never cared about, like, getting sober. I feel like sometimes I just went because my family wanted me to go. Sometimes I went just to get off the street. Sometimes I went just to meet somebody new or whatever to party with. And, yeah. Sometimes I went to find a meaningless relationship that ended nowhere. Because, you know, like they say, you can't go to a junkyard and buy a new car. So, I just, yeah, I just kept going in and out of treatment. Didn't really care about anyone, didn't care about family. I didn't really care about any friends or whatever that I may have had because, you know, when you're in your addiction lifestyle, you're not really picking up friends, you're picking up people that you know. Like, oh, I know, like, Maxine, hey, how you doing, Maxine? Like, oh, yeah, yeah, we should totally party together. Yeah. Say whatever you need to say, whatever, manipulate. I mean, that was just like what addicts do. I mean, it's like a way of surviving to get to your next fix. So, yeah, I didn't really care about anyone's feelings. Got sexually assaulted a handful of more times in my addiction. I didn't really care. I didn't really care if I lived. I didn't really care if I died or whatever. I mean, drinking and using was just a way for me to numb out. Just numb. Because I was, you know, I'm raised Christian, so, you know, I never wanted to off myself because I, you know what they say about that in the Bible. I'm not going to go into that. But, yeah, I was like, whatever, if I have to live... if I have to live here on this earth for however long, at least whenever things happen, you know, assault or anything, at least I'll be drunk and I won't remember it. So I just kept on going until almost 4 years ago I went into treatment. And the reason I went into treatment is, I guess, in a way, I kind of pretty much hit my rock bottom. I was living with my dad and my grandpa, and drinking a lot. My dad was in and out. He was using. And then I started developing seizures. If I didn't have enough alcohol in me, I would seize out. And then my dad would tell me about it, because I wouldn't remember seizing out at all. I would wake up or whatever, and my tongue would be like cut, like sliced from like biting, I guess. But I wouldn't remember the seizure at all. And then I also was sexually assaulted by 2 homeless guys. I don't know what their name was, nothing. They ended up drugging me. I woke up, like, not really woke up, like, it was like 2 in the morning in Long Beach, and I came to. Like, usually whenever I would drink a lot, I would pass out until the next day. But this time or whatever, I was drinking a lot, and then I came to at 2 in the morning, and I was walking. Like, just walking. It was like I went back in my body or whatever, and all I was doing was just walking. And I realized that I was had no clothes on from the waist down. And, you know, I was in pain, and I was just like, what the heck, or whatever, like, oh my god, or whatever, like, obviously, like, you know, something happened. I tried to flag over the authorities. They laughed at me and drove on. And, yeah, I ended up at a gas station. I called my dad to come pick me up. I would say an angel in the form of a guy in a red Cadillac went to the gas station to get gas. He saw me. All I wanted was like a cigarette, because I was still like, oh my god, this is like, and I'm sitting naked in Long Beach from the waist down, like, and yeah, so he just waited. He got me a pack of cigarettes. He waited in his car. Like, he didn't try to do anything to me. He didn't try to beat me up, nothing, or whatever. Like, he just sat there, he waited, and when my dad pulled up, he pulled off. And that was that. So, you know, my dad wanted me to get help because I was having seizures, and my life was just out of control at that point. I mean, seizures are pretty big. You know, you've reached the maximum whenever you start hitting the seizure modes of alcoholism. So, yeah, I agreed. My aunt took me and actually she picked me up and actually drove around a few times or whatever, trying to get me into rehab. You know, I finally got into one. It was in Santa Monica. It was all female. I wanted to go to an all female one because I felt like if I went to one that had males in there too, then I was probably going to get another stupid relationship, and like probably I wouldn't be sitting here making this video, let's just say that. So yeah, I went there and finished their program. It was a few months long, and then from there, I, you know, had to leave, and then I went to their RBH. It was Recovery Bridge Housing. It's like a step after rehab, but before sober living. So I went to there, tried to get a job and everything. It wasn't panning out. Like, I couldn't get one. It was frustrating. So I had to leave there, and from there, I, you know, I was on government program, you know, like food stamps, SNAP, whatever the fuck. And they had this other like housing place, sober living, that they could take from your food stamps or whatever to pay the rent or whatever. It was like a program, and it was all the way, I think, in South Central LA. And I was like, ooh, South Central, like, ooh, or whatever, like, because when I showed up there, I was like, all I hear is gunshots, gunshots, gunshots all throughout the night. It was very seedy part of town. Helicopter flying all the time overhead. Like, it just, I was like, I know I'm gonna go back to using. I don't know, it'd be meeting somebody on the street here or me just freaking out because of the environment, even though I've lived like crazy, but like I was using then, so I feel like the only way I could be comfortable in that area is if I was using. So I called up another treatment center that I had previously went to, and I asked them, told them about the situation. I asked them if I could come there, and they said yes. I got all my stuff. I told them told the place I was at I was leaving. I went over there to the RBH over there. That's in LA County, Pasadena, and stayed there for a few months. And then I finally ended up getting a job at a call center for medical transport. So I worked there for a little bit until eventually the job, the place that I got, that let me come and stay with them, at their recovery place, the head person, Bill, he gave me a job and hired me. And so I was working there for a little over a year and did various positions within that that job. And then I went on medical leave. I had to go on medical leave for a year because in the time that I've been sober, in the first year, my dad passed away in his addiction from health complications. 4 months later, one of my best friends, who I called a brother in sobriety, he went back to his addiction and ended up passing away. And I had to be in his apartment with his roommate, waiting with her for the coroner to come and take away the body, which is so weird to say because, we knew, like, me and him knew each other, like, in and out. I mean, we talked to each other day after day, like, literally minutes after minute. And so anyways, he passed away, and I just continued working in treatment because I felt like, I gotta be able to help somebody, After you get after you get over the hump, and the hump is like the year mark, after you get over that, like in your addiction recovery, like it gets easier to not want to pick up, at least for me. It's not for everybody, but for me, like, I was just like, if I could deal with my dad passing away, and I can deal with a very dear friend passing away 4 months later, I'm pretty sure I don't need to pick up, and I didn't want to be, like, old and on the streets, no offense, or whatever. Like, I just didn't want to do the lifestyle anymore. Like, I just wanted to keep trying, and sobriety, it didn't give me a house, it didn't give me a white picket fence, it didn't give me a husband, it didn't give me, loads and loads of money, or whatever. Like, it gave me my first car, which, I'm proud of, or whatever. I got my first car. Who I call Natasha. I don't really have that many friends nowadays, but I never really did. I mean, I have, like, a few close friends, but I don't have, like, a plethora of friends or whatever. So, yeah. But I do have some family members, and they've been with me, stayed with me, stuck through me when over 10 years ago, when I said I was that I actually felt like I was transgender. Like, I didn't feel like I was a man. I never really connected with being a man. I never really felt like I was a man or whatever. I was born with an extra female chromosome, so I don't grow any facial hair. I don't grow any chest hair. I don't grow any back hair. Like, so I guess I was lucky in that sense with the transition. Yeah. So I legally changed my name and legally changed my gender. Did my surgery for that. And yeah. Now I'm just me. I mean, I'm sitting here on YouTube, no makeup on, and just giving it straight like I always do. I mean, like, it's kind of hard for me to lie. I don't really like to lie. I like to just be completely honest. I never try to intentionally hurt anyone's feelings. But, yeah, I like to keep it straight and keep it 100 all the time. So, yeah, here I am now. As I said in my other videos, I dealt with cancer for the second time. Like I said, I had cancer for the first time when I was 21. And now I had breast cancer last year. And then on Tuesday, August 26th, I'm going to finally start my breast reconstruction journey. It's another journey because it's about like 6 months until, you know, I'm ever going to see any kind of breasts happening. And yeah, I just kind of like go day by day, do whatever I'm supposed to, try and stay in the best of health, and talk to the friends that I do have, talk to the family I do have, and yeah, so that's all I wanted to say or whatever, was just tell a little bit of my backstory when it comes to my addiction, and also it deals with cancer. And, you know, some of the people I know who are in addiction themselves, whether they're in active addiction or in recovery, they have said if I got diagnosed with cancer, I sure as heck would probably end up using. What I like to say is, you don't know what you would do if you had anything, and it doesn't sound positive to tell me that they would start using if they had cancer, because like I have it, and no, I didn't start using, and I'm not going to use. Like, that's how I view my life in recovery. Like, I know that relapse can happen, but I'd rather control myself, and I don't feel like me being in my addiction is, I'm not controlling myself. My addiction's controlling me. So everybody that, in my opinion, thinks that, yes, I'm going to use whatever because I'm going to do what I want to do. Well, you're not doing what you want to do. You're doing what your disease wants you to do. And with that, I'm out.